everyone. Welcome to Prepstation UTME 2026 Literature in English. Today we'll review questions from UTME, past questions from UTME, and questions from the literature, some of the literature texts for UTME exams. Now let's take a look. Literature in English is divided into three major aspects. The first, literary terms. The second, seen and unseen text. The third, questions from the required texts. Let's begin with the first section, literary terms. Question 1. But at my back, I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near. This illustrates the use of A, metaphor, B, apostrophe, C, oxymoron, and D, metonymy. The answer is metaphor. Number 2, the repetition of the same vowel sounds in a line is A, alliteration, B, assonance, C, onomatopoeia, and D, parallelism. The answer to this question is assonance. Alliteration has to do with consonant sounds, while assonance involves vowel sounds. Question 3. An understatement is otherwise called A, litotes, B, conceit, C, pun, and D, contrast. The answer is litotes. Litotes is an understatement that makes use of not or no, most negative words. They do not, the speaker or speakers who use litotes do not actually mean the exact thing they say. So it's an understatement, and then until it's examined closely, that's when one knows what the speaker intends. Number 4. The loneliest people live in the most crowded places. A, paradox, B, anecdote, C, allegory, and D, parody. The answer to this question is paradox. Paradox has to do with placing two contradictory ideas side by side. In this case, what are those contradictory ideas? The loneliest people live in the most crowded places. Loneliest and then crowdest. There is some sort of parallel shift in this case. And then you have two ideas here. Loneliest people, most crowded places. Ideally, someone who is lonely someone who lives in a crowded place shouldn't be lonely. But in this case, this is what has been placed. So it's a paradox, more or less like a contradiction. Number 5, my bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love very deep. Take note of the words bounty and boundless here. A, the above lines illustrates A, epigram, B, hyperbole, C, apostrophe, and D, parody. Take note of the words, like I said, bounty and boundless. The answer is hyperbole. Hyperbole is exaggeration. Some people will tell you hyperbole is overstatement. Now here we have the words bounty and then boundless as the sea. Okay, so his love is so deep and it's as boundless as the sea. There are no bounds to it in this case. Number 6, the strong gongs groaning as the guns boomed far illustrates the use of A, metonymy, B, refrain, C, onomatopoeia, and D, repetition. Let's look at it again. The strong gongs groaning as the guns boomed far illustrates A, metonymy, B, refrain, C, onomatopoeia, and D, repetition. It's not metonymy because there are no symbols used to represent something. and it's not a refrain because there's no it's not a stanza that has to do with lines that are repeated as choruses, and then it's not nothing is repeated here. So onomatopoeia is a figure of speech that has to do with sounds. In this case, sounds of an object or how how the sounds are made. So we have the strong gongs groaning as the guns boomed far. Groaning has to do with sounds, and then boomed, in this case, the sound of the gun. So the word is onomatopoeia. Number 7, pick the odd item out of the options listed. A, euphemism, B, oxymoron, C, hyperbole, and D, rhythm. The answer to this question is rhythm. Why? Because euphemism, oxymoron, and hyperbole are figures of speech, while rhythm isn't a figure of speech. It's actually an element used in poetry. Number 8, the sun smiled gently on the scene. Illustrates A, paradox, B, euphemism, C, hyperbole, and D, personification. The answer is personification because the sun is given a human characteristic, which is smiling. Number 9, that it will rain is not unlikely. Illustrates the use of A, irony, B, lithos, C, metaphor, and D, simile. The answer to this question is lithos. That it will rain is not unlikely. Take note of the use of not there. It's going to rain. That's the statement. It's certain it will rain. But the use of not shows gives the perspective that it won't rain at all, but the not there is just an element of it's just little on its own, making use of a negative statement in this case. Not intended. The speaker's intention is not it's different from what is actually said. Number 10, through dash, the ills of the society are criticized with the objective of having them corrected. A, dramatic irony, B, comic relief, C, satire, and D, farce. The answer is satire. Satire is a work of literature where a writer mocks the ills of the society with the use of the characters in the play or drama. So the answer is satire. Number 11, a story that explains a natural phenomenon is A, legend, B, parable, C, myth, D, fiction. The answer is myth. A myth tells why certain things happen. So it's the myth. Number 12, in literature, repetition is used essentially for A, rhyme, B, suspense, C, allusion, and D, emphasis. Most of the time, repetition is used for emphasis, to emphasize a particular thing in maybe the poem or a particular situation in a play or in a novel. It's also very significant. Number 13, a black, beautiful, brilliant bride is an example of A, alliteration, C, assonance, D, onomatopoeia, and D, pun. A, alliteration has to do with the quick succession of consonant sounds being repeated. So we have B, the sound in black, in beautiful, brilliant, and bright. They are following quick successions. Assonance is not a vowel sound. Onomatopoeia, it's not the sound of an object. Then pun, there's no play on words. So the answer is A, alliteration. Number 14, a question that does not require an answer is A, discourse, B, rhetorical, C, ironic, and D, flashback. The answer is B, a rhetorical question. Rhetorical questions are questions that the answers sometimes are obvious and they do not require a response. Number 15, 10,000 saws at a glance illustrates dash. A. Coursera. B. Climax. C. Beatus. D. Hyperbole. The answer to this question is hyperbole. 10,000 saws at a glance. That's exaggeration. Number 16, a piece of writing that teaches morals is A. Serious, B. Didactic, C. Playful, and D. Analytical. The answer is B. Didactic. It teaches morals. Number 17, a literary work in form of a letter is A. Creative, B. Romantic, C. Tautological, and D. Epistolary. The answer is epistolary. It takes the form of a letter. I'm sure you must have heard about this book, Miriam Abba's Solog, a Letter. It takes the form of it's a book that takes the form of a letter. It's epistolary in nature. It begins with Dear Ramotulai, and then the story goes like that. So that's an epistolary style of writing. A play on words for literary effect is A. Paradox, B. Pun, C. Satire, and D. Elegy. The answer is pun. A recurring dominant idea in a work of art is called A. Setting, B. Conflict, C. Plot, and D. Motif. The answer is motif. More or less like the reason behind a particular idea or work. Number 12, Death Be Not Proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, is an example of A. Euphemism, B. Metaphor, C. Apostrophe, and D. Alliteration. The answer to this question is apostrophe. When you say apostrophe, it's a direct address to something, okay, that is probably not living or an object not that is not a human being. So the writer of this poem addresses death as though death were a character or a human being standing in front of him. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.